Okay, it's 2006. George Bush is still the president. Tool has released one of the greatest prog rock albums of all time. Young Jeezy dropped The Inspiration, and The Game dropped Doctor's Advocate. And importantly, Anderson Silva brutally dropped Rich Franklin with high-level Muay Thai and began a staggering 2,000-plus day reign, a reign that still hasn't been surpassed by any other UFC champion. Oh, and another thing, the science of 8 limbs exploded onto the big screen with this movie. Before mixed martial arts exploded and changed the way both martial arts movies and professional wrestling looked, the early 2000s had a mixed bag. The Matrix and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon had really rocketed wire fu into the mainstream. The Titanic martial arts stars, whose names you might know, were fitted into various kinds of roles, from mixing sci-fi with martial arts, to rappers with martial arts, to fish out of water buddy cop martial arts. You know, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Jean-Claude Van Damme. You know what? I'll throw in Wesley Snipes as well. The style of action was stagnant. With wide-release studio films, some form of wire fu or a mishmash of flashy taekwondo kicks and slow-mo mixed with terrible karate was the standard. There was a lack of the art in martial arts films. You know, pure, like instrumental music. So, enter Tony Jaa. Enter the Protector. Now, some had been introduced to Tony Jaa in the martial arts classic Ong Bak, which I will definitely talk about at some point, just, not right now. Tony Jaa was the next big thing. A brand new martial art exploded onto the scene. Karate was outdated. It's a Chuck Norris thing. Taekwondo was still seen as a bit of a joke, I think, but Muay Thai was new. And you could find the knees and elbows being used in the fastest growing combat sport. Kicking someone in the legs can end a fight? Yeah, impossible. But guess what? It's right there on the screen. You can see Uriah Faber dying as Jose Aldo destroys his body and soul. And Tony Jaa was a martial arts sensation. He wasn't an actor learning how to do stunts well enough that when the stunt double took over, it still looked passable. No, he was from the same action bloodline as the Jackie Chans, Jet Lis, Sammo Hungs, Donnie Yens, and Ken Lo's of the world. And he was an explosive athlete with not only the action chops, but the acrobatic, gymnastic stunt chops in the vein of stunt god Jackie Chan. So let's get into it. The movie opens with an explanation of the Jaa, which I guess is like the Delta Force of ancient Thai warfare. They were indeed the bodyguards of the king, protecting him and his elephant. And Tony Jaa's Kam is to be one of those warriors. We get a little bit of Kam's humble upbringing within their tight-knit community. Kam is always at the side of his father, who is the caretaker of the elephant, Poryai. And Poryai ends up mating, and now Kam has an elephant of his own to help raise. Corn. But tragedy strikes. Poachers attempt to kidnap Corn, and in the process, Corn's mom gets shot accidentally. Later on, while they deliver produce in town, they find out that appraisers will be at the Songkran Water Festival, and it's possible to get Poryai checked for royal status. It's the dream of Kam's father to present an elephant to the king as part of his Jaa heritage. However, this is a scam. Elephants don't forget. Kam goes to track down Corn, who ran away during the blind boxing match he was watching, and he finds his gut-shot father, who tells him to find Poryai. But Poryai has been packed up in a shipping container, headed to God knows where. So after delivering his father, who it seems will survive, back to their home, he sets out to find his elephant. And he knows how to make a goddamn entrance. They tell him, "Hey, come on in, it's unlocked, buddy." So he uses 2 bars of super and hits the whole group with a turbo flying knee. I would encourage you to rewind this. There's no trampoline from what I can tell. Buddy's just an athlete. And the fight is on. One thing that I like that I will talk about in other martial arts films and action films in general is the movie not shying away from letting me know stunts are happening. If I can spot knee pads or the occasional chest pad, it means the actors are actually hitting each other. In the safest way, of course. But this is what allows for the fights to be kinetic, without fancy cuts or camera angles to hide the things that aren't happening. There's a huge problem that you can often see in action films where the bump, to use a wrestling term probably incorrectly, does all the kinetic work in a fight scene. All the damage is in the fall that the stunt guy takes and not in the actual hit. And there's actually a particular face-planting move. But I would rather have this. And then the shrimpy poacher gets the standing Robin from Teen Titans double knees to the chest straight through a plate glass door. Anyways, he kidnaps the shitty son of the boss, throws him out of a window, and then leads the cronies of said boss on a chase on speedboats of some kind on the river. It's explosive, but Calm escapes and heads to Sydney, Australia, baby, to find his elephants and get revenge.
Take a staycation at Outback.
There's a Thai cop named Sergeant Mark, and he's Thai, and he's also from Ong Bak, but it's a different character, and he's gonna help Tony Jaa find his elephants. Okay. There's a robbery at a store, some dumbass neighborhood kid, and Sergeant Mark lets him go after defusing the situation. We see a Thai baddie working as a call girl, and she's indebted to the people who run the casino, or the gangsters operating the casino. And we see the villain of the story for the first time, Rose. And to get this out of the way now, Rose is a trans woman or a lady boy. I don't know if that's different. And you know what? I'm not looking it up on my browser. My browser history is cursed enough already.
Computer, generate 8-foot-tall Futanari versions of Bryce Dallas Howard and Eva Green.
Rose's uncle is the head of some criminal organization trying to get in bed with the government, so she's already got a restaurant, which was probably given to her out of respect for her late father. And he doesn't care about her efforts to climb higher within the organization. So Calm arrives in Sydney, and he's ready to find his damn elephants. He hops in a cab that immediately is tailed by the police and gets into a chase ending in an alley where he's taken hostage by the driver. Sergeant Mark is on one end, and the guy on the other end is some dude named Vincent, looking like an adopted cousin of a Hemsworth stunt double. He kills the driver and tries to kill Calm, who runs away. And when Calm gets caught, Sergeant Mark takes him into custody before Vincent can finish the job. They happen to pass by the very restaurant Calm needs to get inside, Tom Yum Goong, which is the non-English title for the Protector. Calm is crashing out on the back seat, trying to get his attention. And once the villainous pretty boy Johnny leaves the restaurant, Calm tells him Johnny is the one they should be after. So Calm crashes the car and escapes because clearly the cops aren't going to help him. And he's right, because he immediately finds Johnny and starts stalking him like a young Randy Orton. He ruins the surprise and just yells at him while Johnny's trying to talk to the call girl from earlier. Johnny hits him with the Might Guy dynamic entry, drops him, and then drops him again with a tornado wheel kick. When Calm gets up, the call girl breaks it up, but Calm wants his goddamn elephants, so he hunts down the goons Johnny left behind. Calm gets him to lead him to the drug deal Johnny is trying to do.
Surprise, motherfucker!
And he gets to work, immediately taking out the first two with a double Kinshasa and goes directly into the jumping sidekick. Okay, that is clean. Before he leaves, he pulls a train horn and starts one of the goofiest, most early 2000s Daredevil on the playground, Catwoman basketball, Vin Diesel XXX, Mission Impossible 2 ass fight scene of all time.
Fist fight me, pick the place. I'ma fuck you up and then fuck your face. Timberlake, fuck you, bitch. Nick Lachey, you click my dick. Instinct, that's.
He's about to fight a gang of X Games rejects.
Oh, bro.
Wow. So I'm skipping this because the only relevant part is that this is just the exhibition of the acrobatic stunt work. Just to prove that nothing happens, here's Tony Jaa doing a backflip off of a floor-to-ceiling safety glass window to avoid a man on an ATV that looks like a prop from a Kiss show. So the call girl finds Calm passed out on the sidewalk. He has a dream, wakes up, and her nosy neighbor calls the cops, and so he escapes. And then she heads to work where we see Sergeant Mark again, and he's escorting a government official to a mud bath with the transphobic criminal boss from before. But his heart is not healthy enough for sex tourism, so the cargo hops off and goes to get his medicine from the dressing room. And when Sergeant Mark breaks in, it's revealed to be the petty thief he let go at the beginning. The call girl, who's clearly smart, took the Nikon P900 from the crime scene. She gets found by the police, and Com hops in with a fuck the police coming straight from the underground, and they escape together. In turn, she tells him everything he needs to know about Tom Young-goong, and he sets off to find Johnny and get his goddamn elephants back, okay? This sequence is a single shot, or a long take, whatever you want to call it. I remember people raving about the Daredevil long take fight sequences. You know, oh, the hallway scene, oh my god, oh, Jesus Christ, oh, hallway scene. Watch it and weep. And this is 2006, by the way, okay? Now, there's nothing crazy here, but the stunt work is, really solid, and the camera work is also super dope if you're paying attention. And I do want to point out that the timing for that flying knee through the sink is actually kind of difficult if you think about it. Anyway, we finally get to see the dirty secret Tom Young-goong has been hiding. These filthy, disgusting fat cats are eating exotic and endangered animals. Ugh. Including elephants. Okay? Hell no.
That's fucking illegal.
Johnny hits him with some bullshit wall combos and keeps trying to walk off without hitting the home run. I mean, come on. Cart before the horse, brother.
Job's not finished.
So Com gets up with a rope he gave Korn wrapped around his wrist. And if you've seen a Tony Jaa film, you know shit's about to get real when he wraps some shit around his arm, okay? And clearly, he understands it now. Johnny has nothing for my man, okay? And he gets dropped and embarrassed in front of his boys. So he gets up and tries some of those advanced combos you should only try in training mode, never against a CPU or in a 1v1 match. I mean, come on, brother. And he gets cooked, exposed, and embarrassed, of course. And please pay attention. A reverse elbow into a handspring double Pele kick?
You're not that guy, pal, trust me.
He gets back up to get fried again like leftovers, and bro is just comboing him, okay? He's playing with his food. And now in the back room where they keep all the animals, Com is reunited with Korn. You'll love to see it. And Sergeant Mark is there too. Rose is at dinner with the other higher-ups, I guess, in the crime organization. And they still don't want her taking over. They want Chow. And unfortunately, that means Chow's gotta go. And in one fell swoop, she takes over. Com and Sergeant Mark are hiding out at a temple. And they leave because someone there recognizes them and snitches. And then for some reason, Com and Mark head back to the temple and the place is on fire. Lateef Crowder perched on the statue in a hoodie. I mean, this is some real anime shit right here. They get into it, and the capoeira assassin is getting the better of Com.
I think about this every day. I think about this all day long. I stay awake, not sleep.
But when he gets up, check the difference in the choreography, okay? His opponent hasn't been diminished. He hasn't changed his style of attack. Com has just raised his level, which is personally way more compelling than being able to stand still and block every attack just because you understand it now. He starts spamming some spinning shit like some type of Thai dreidel and absolutely demolishes Eddie Gordo.
Finish him!
And in comes the swordsman. He does a bunch of spinning and ballet until Com gets his hands on some giant gong sticks, which, I mean, I can't imagine they hurt all that bad, but this guy is clearly a swordsman second and a biochemistry major first, so he gets immediately cooked. Nathan Jones, failed WWE prospect, and he absolutely wrecks Com. Bro eats an obscene amount of leg kicks and knees. He's before throwing Calm into a column and then hits him with that patented running shoulder tackle. And look at this. I mean, it looks nasty, bro. He flatlines him with a hellacious sidekick through a cabinet. And he only stops because the cops are coming. But Calm's not done. He heads downtown with Korn, busts up Rose's press conference, and he goes to get his elephant. That's what he's here for. But poor Yai is dead. Wow, rip. And his skeleton has been ornamented as a symbol of Rose's power. And Calm takes a beat down while he grieves until, somebody stabs him. And thus begins the greatest chiropractic sequence in human history. I don't want to talk through the whole sequence or even show it because I learned my lesson doing that. So I'll just do my favorite ones.
First blood. Triple kill.
My leg! My leg!
Oh my God! Finish him! Monster kill! Blood's victory.
However, there's still someone between him and Rose, the giant from before. And this is some pretty dope big guy, small guy fighting. And I have no idea what kind of slam that is, but it should immediately be someone's wrestling finisher. Anyway, Rose interferes, and the giant gets the better of Calm. And now there are 3 more. Okay. They take Korn and they windmill him.
I beg your pardon?
Which is just actually diabolical, okay? And they throw Calm through the legs of poor Yai. But when they go to get him down, he has somehow tied a bone to each arm in 2 seconds, by the way, because if you look, he somersaults onto Big Bald and cracks him in the head. And watch the fall. God bless him, he didn't try to protect himself at all. And I don't care what anyone says, goofy or not. Blasting these bodybuilders with spit coming out of their mouths, chalk flying off their chests, beet red with pain. This looks like it would hurt. Big Bald breaks the bones, but Calm cuts his tendons in return, dropping him to one knee and then absolutely ends this next man's career, filleting his tendons and leaving him shaking. I mean, that's just a classic. It's a classic right there. It's a classic. And then Big Bald comes at him yet again. He drops Rowe into a Boston Crab leg break, into a somersault double knee to the spine, and he still wants smoke. So he breaks his arm for the measure and then heads to the room. That skinny, weird old dude that just kept smirking the entire film, that I have no idea who he is or what he's doing, he gets kicked out of the helicopter. And when Rose hops onto the emergency ladder, Calm jumps off the roof, knees the fuck out of her, and they crash through the ceiling. She lands on the floor, and he lands on the tusks of poor Yai, saving his life. Okay, that's poetic, double poetry. And guess what, brothers? Korn is also alive. Okay, you love to see it. And at last, Calm has brought justice to poor Yai's killers and saved the elephant he's responsible for. He can head home with his head held high. Now, I'll talk about Tony Jaa a little more in depth when I talk about Ong Bak 2, which has one of the greatest, okay, period, greatest 1v everyone fight sequences of all time. If you haven't seen this movie and you still own DVDs, it's worth getting the actual DVD for the behind the scenes extra features stuff, because there's several mini movies with fight scenes from, I think it's from some sort of competition. I don't think The Protector changed the game in the same way that movies like The Matrix did, but I mean, it really did introduce new blood. a new star in Tony Jaa, and that would open a path for Indonesian martial arts films like The Raid and stars like Iko Uwais and Joe Taslim. So, based. And guess what? Like, he's still at it. I think he has a movie coming out this year. He's still always super enjoyable to watch in his roles. And, this movie will always have a special place in my heart, okay? It's always fun to revisit. It was fun to revisit for this. Okay, I've been here long enough. Thanks for watching. Peace out. I'll see you later.